this is their last one before the All-Star break. They'll all be free. Basically an entire Bulls 11th place. Who's locked in tonight? John Goebel, Sean Corbin, Danica Baruti, our officials tonight. Queta stood up in the paint. Modest Buzelis with the steal. The top scoring sophomore in the NBA this season. Here's Colin Sexton, the young bull as they call him. Gets to the basket and gets fouled.
Long. I've seen him play, and to be a nice piece for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, 6'10", 209, second-year pro. He's really the guy they're trying to build around, really, him and Giddey. You saw them make a bunch of moves. They made 7 trades before the deadline, most of any team in the league. White lobs it inside Queta, catch and release for 2.
Really good play right there with the pick and roll and late help on the weak side, and Queta keeping the ball up high and finishing. Good job by the Celtics right there.
I expect the Celtics to get whatever they want in the paint against this Bulls team as Patrick Williams puts it in for 3.
That didn't look good when he shot it, but it went in.
It looked good at the end of the shot.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Williams, a former 4th overall pick in the draft, who has really plateaued this season numbers-wise. The lid on the basket stays there for the Celtics. They had at least 5 or 6 of those Sunday against the Knicks. Here's Buzelis with the cross. Queta shades over. Get their offense going after they only scored 89 against the Knicks. That was a season low. 37% from the floor. That'll help from Jaylen Brown.
Our spacing was perfect in that situation. You had Queta in the dunker area, and he was able to get to his spot and take a shot from the elbow.
Here he is, Anthony Simons. Celtic for half a season with a lot of highlights along the way. Tough contested shot, good defense from Shireman. 2 minutes into the opening quarter, Celtics trail by 1. There's White, who's scoring it at a high clip lately. Hauser's left alone. Bad idea for the Bulls.
Now that looks pretty. Every time he shoots the ball, I think it's going in.
That's high praise coming from you. It takes one to know one.
Shooters, no shooters.
That's right. You saw the Bulls in the month of February allowing more than 129 a game. Buzelis finds a cutting Simons, and he saves him at the end of the shot clock. Now Simons defending Hauser. Back in front, hits the deck. Hauser left it short, got it back, couldn't clean it up. 3rd chances for Queta, and he puts it in. As you heard, they're not committing to anything, but, I mean, it's a good sign that he's back practicing it.
It's a great sign, and the other thing is that I would just like to see what those practices look like. Are they slow motion? Are they game speed? Or, you know, set, run, control? You know, those are things that I would like to see, but I know we're not going to be privy to that.
It's Simons, rips the cords on a 3. He can take games over in a hurry. We saw that firsthand.
Yeah, he won about 3 games for us in different halves. The first half of one game and the second half of another game, and then just putting together a whole game and just not being able to stop him.
No shot clock reset. Shireman pulls the cord. And Buzelis on the rebound. Now Simons has started all 4 games now he's played for Chicago. Averaging 20 in the first 3 as Buzelis knocks it down.
All that starts from Sexton. Colin Sexton pushing the pace, collapsing the defense, and then kicking it out and then that extra swing. We're going to have to really pay attention to him because he's going to put a lot of pressure on our defense.
Queta on the roll, caught it from Brown and put it in. Amish Queta 3 for 3 to start. Nimi down, holding on to his left ankle. Bulls playing 5-on-4. White got a block as Queta jogs back to the play, and Buzelis hits again.
Good sign that at least he's up and he's moving.
Brown does not hesitate. Bullseye on a 3.
How great has he been all season long?
Unbelievable. 29.4 points a game. That's top 5 in the NBA. Sexton missed it. Good rim protection from the C's. Now Brown to the dance floor against Williams. It's good again.
We can't say enough about him. I mean, think about the point where we're at right now, where we're in second place, where he's at with almost averaging 30 points. Nobody thought that coming into this season.
Except him.
That's the only one that needed to believe.
Yeah, exactly. He knew it was in there, and he's showing it this season. Sexton hits it from the free throw line, and Joe Mazzulla will pull his first timeout.
Simons has to showcase what he's capable of in a larger role. He started all 4 games. He says, I'm trying to take all the lessons that I learned here and apply those to this new situation. But one thing he knows, this Celtics team is not going to take it easy on Anthony no matter how much they respect him. He says, I know they are going to play hard tonight, and I've got to be ready.
Yeah, Jordan Walsh said something like that when he was chatting with the media. We got to go crush him tonight, but a lot of love for Anthony Simons. Made a real impression in just half a season here. Pritchard in the game, not shy, and why would he be?
Player P knocked that down, didn't even hesitate. What a pretty shot, too. Rotation was nice. Didn't hit nothing but the bottom.
Yeah, one of his first touches of the night. That's the Pritchard we've seen since he moved back to his bench role. Illegal screen on the Bulls' big Nick Richards. Ugo draws it. Celtics ball.
And, you know, Ugo is so good.
Celtics with a 2-point lead. Brown sweeping to the basket, punched away by Richards. Here's another new member of the Bulls, Jaden Ivey, came over from Detroit. Super athletic player. Missed his first shot there. Brown turns the corner with force and drops it in.
Just a 3-level scorer. He could get to the basket. He could finish at the basket. He could make it at the free throw line, mid-range, and he could knock down the 3. I mean, his game has just elevated from day one. And I remember interviewing him when he was at Cal, before he came out into the league. And his game was not where it is right now. It's just really good to see somebody elevate and evolve like that.
Yeah, 10th year in the NBA already for him. Kind of hard to believe. The only player in double figures so far with 10 as Ivy banks it home in transition. Bulls will play fast. Top 5 in the league in pace. Celtics are 30th. It's been an adjustment for Anthony Simons. He said he was a little winded in his first game with Chicago. Buzelis with the block. Ron Harper Jr. in the game for the first time defending Modest Buzelis. Ivy trying to go on Pritchard. Good defense from Pritchard. Williams reigns in a triple.
Williams with 3.
Bulls have started hot from downtown. Gonzalez on the cut. Out of bounds off of him. On 3, Pritchard all the way. Out to Hauser. White kept it alive. What a play from Derek White.
Tommy point.
And then Pritchard finds him. White all over the place on this possession. Vucevic ends it with 2.
And while that defensive possession was going on for the Celtics, I was looking at their energy, and I was like, I like how they're moving.
It's stripped by White off of.
Peyton Pritchard is switching. That's contagious, man. Things like that are contagious in a basketball game.
White too strong. Simons the rebound. Pushes it ahead for Ivy. Right back to the Inferno. Off the rim, and Vucevic the rebound.
We can't call him that now.
Not allowed?
No.
Oh, how about Pritchard? That'll be an illegal screen on Vucevic. He said Ivy grabbed. Sexton too strong. Pritchard the rebound.
Belly is he a BMW. Body made wrong.
Chicago follows on number 28, Kershawn Young Celtics.
The drive.
There is Pritchard. Dillingham and Yabu swarmed him. Yabusele to the ground. At BMW.
Talk bad about him because I was in the bad body club too when I played. I didn't have no six-pack or anything like that, but look at this.
Walsh, ooh, and the energy and the pilfer and the punch.
That's what I was talking about.
He was the one who said we're not going to go easy on Anthony Simons in his return to the Garden. And he just picked his pocket, almost had another steal there. This is an 18-4 extended run for the C's as Sexton weighs in.
You know why he didn't go? He said he ain't gonna go easy on it because he was taking his minutes. Telling him.
White, oh, gets inside for the layup. Dillingham missed it. Walsh the rebound. Outlet to Pritchard on the break. Matched up with Simons. Hauser. Bullseye.
Just how quick he gets that off. His hand. As soon as he catches it, goes straight up. It's no.
You see Keita back in there after. Looks like he might have tweaked an ankle. There's Walsh again with a high pickup point on Simons. Dillingham so quick. Hauser boards the miss. White slow plays it. Walsh ends up with it. Gets inside and scores.
He's locked in. He's locked in. And I always say this, that when somebody's locked in defensively, it seems like offense usually comes a little bit easier for him.
That's where he has earned his money this year. Jordan Walsh on the defensive end. That time Simons goes with a baby hook. 7 points for Anthony Simons, high scorer for Chicago. Pritchard turns the corner on Richards. Ooh, put him in the weight room.
Yeah, that was a gangster basket right there. That's what I call a gangster basket. That was a big fella that he pushed off like that and created the space.
Loves going up against those big guys. White with the steal. 7 turnovers against the Bulls. Keita the early post up against Simons, who just wraps up his old team him off the floor. Pritchard again with that matchup on Richards. Ridiculous.
It's just the space that he can create, you know, whether it be underneath the basket or creating space for his step back. That's a hooper's hooper right there.
At those 14 points and 4 assists. Keita rebounds the Buzelis miss. Pritchard's feeling it. Navigating, surveying, out to White, keeps it hot for Hauser. Cashes out from downtown.
It's like the last 3 games, our spacing been a little tight. And I think that's when Vooch came over trying to figure out the spacing for this team. And, you know, those things take time. And since he's not on the court right now, these guys have been playing together. So they're spacing. They understand where they're going to be at and things like that. So I like the pickup points as well on defense. Jordan Walsh has been fantastic tonight with that.
White for 3. Celtics making it rain. 9 of 14 from distance, above 64%. That's coming off their worst three-point shooting game of the season, where they were 17% against the Knicks. Keita the stuff on Richards. White top of the key again, this time from the mid-range. Got himself another good look, just too strong. Here comes Buzelis. Sexton slows it down. Likes the matchup against Queta. Tough test for the big man here. Sexton shoots over him and knocks it in.
Oh, and he says something to Joe. Joe started talking back to him, though.
Yeah.
A little spicy out
Like
here.
that. Fouls on Williams before the dunk by Walsh. Be a side out for the C's.
Number 44, Patrick Williams, his first third-team foul. For the Celtics,
I don't know what Sexton said to Joe, or maybe he just gave him a hand gesture. I'm not sure.
Well, it don't even matter. You know, it don't take anything to get Joe going.
He admitted the other day to making stuff up in his brain for motivation.
I'm telling you, that's what all of the greats do. Man, I'm telling you, Kevin Garnett did it all the time. You know, I'm quite sure Pat Riley did it, just didn't tell us.
MJ did it for sure.
Oh, ain't no question. Yeah, he took that personal right there.
5 to shoot for Brown. He's doubled. Late shot clock. White. He thrives in those situations. He's fouled. And free throws come. Dimes. And here's a message from FanDuel.
Look at the pickup point right here.
Dillingham to the corner. Sexton drives it, kicks it. Ivy shoots it. C's are a +11 on the glass, 20-9. Brown goes down, no whistle on Williams. They'll be letting John Goble know that should have been a foul as Dillingham gets to the cup.
That's the one thing Vucevic has to work on is defense right there and have a little bit more resistance. That was too easy for Dillingham.
Oh, nice find. Walsh on the cut, gives it up. White right back to Vucevic. Oh, yeah!
But he can't do that.
And Vucevic, one of the most skilled bigs in the league, and that was gorgeous ball movement. White finds the cutting Vucevic out to Walsh. Offensive rebound for the big fella. Jordan hangs, hits. First half stats, let's check them out. They're brought to you by Jason Stone Injury Lawyers, official injury law firm of the Boston Celtics. Injured? Better phone Stone. Eddie, 58% from the floor will get the job done.
Every day. Think about when we were playing with the Knicks, they shot 60% from the field and ended up losing that game, you know, so it always helps to make shots at a high clip.
That's the name of the game for the Celtics.
What you know about that?
I watch it. I watch it. My Nerf hoop. So they shot just 37% against the Knicks on Sunday. Much better. They're streaking in the wrong direction. They've lost all 5 games they've played in February. Their defense has been suboptimal. And that has remained the case today.
So do you think they're a team that's going to be tanking because there's going to be teams because it's a really good draft class? Do you think that they're going to be one of the teams that are trying to tank?
Yeah, and try to build around that guy.
Yeah.
It seems like pretty much everyone's expendable for them except Buzelis, maybe Giddey. They liked Ayo Dosunmu a lot. They traded him to Minnesota. He's due for a contract extension in the offseason. So, yeah, it does seem like the Bulls are finally pressing that button, try to get out of the middle. Brown's pass zips it. Zenny.
Nice.
You're in your Zennies tonight, right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my Zennies.
After the Bulls miss, here comes Brown. 18 points in the first half. For the All-Star starter, playing some bully ball, opens up Shireman. Rebounded by Simons. Buzelis, that is not a basketball move. Offensive.
Yeah.
White went straight up and down. Inside, it's Queta rocks the rim.
Speaking about straight up and down, that pass went straight up and then the ball went straight down through the hoop.
That was ferocious from Nemi. 7th assist for White. Williams off the back of the rim. 3rd rebound for White. There's his 8th assist. Shireman lays it in.
They just have a different step from the last 3 games that we've been watching, man. They look like they're energized as opposed to Chicago or the...
Yeah, they've been playing like that for a couple of weeks now. Yabusele inside is fouled. Yabu at the line. Here's a message from our sister station, NBC 10.
I know, that's really tough.
And we'll stay here with Chicago.
I'm cool.
You're not trying luge?
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm more of a warm weather person.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be in Phoenix in a couple of weeks. We'll be calling that game together. I don't think they do much luge in Phoenix.
No, we do a lot of lake action.
Well, that's more my speed as well.
Jet ski.
Yeah. White with the air ball. Shireman trying to...
With that effort and energy. I love that.
White goes down as Sexton drives. Brown ends up with a rock. JB after the cross, all the way to the hole.
That just shows you how strong he is. You see, it was 3 Bulls defenders. Big fella, small guys, it didn't even matter. He went right through all 3 of them.
Yabu just moved Vooch. He is solid. Celtics drafted him 16th overall 10 years ago, back in 2016. His journey has brought him to Chicago. Brown, the size advantage, and he uses it on Sexton. Foul's called up. Yabusele for 3. Front rims it. Shireman plucks it out of the air. Dillingham the steal. And he lost the handle, but it stick. They were really high on him, and then they cut bait a year and a half into his NBA career. A block by Vucevic.
With the younger players, they don't give them an opportunity to develop. And I want to think at times, is it the developmental team of that organization, or is it the player? Because a lot of times players go somewhere else and they shine. And you're like, well, how did he leave?
Hauser for 3. He's hit 4 times from downtown. Seems like his back's okay. Dillingham the split and the finish.
That was tough money right there. That was a tough basket. That was not easy to do.
That's why the Wolves were high on him initially. He can really collapse a defense. He's tough to stay in front of, but I think ultimately they decided he might not be big enough to stick in the rotation there. Now he defends Brown. Good luck. After the double team, Brown set up. White missed the shot. Simons shows off the hops for the rebound, his 5th of the game. 30-point Celtics lead. Dillingham side of the backboard, Celtics.
So a big congratulations to Bob, who I'm sure is watching from home in Worcester.
Yeah, that's a pretty good media magnet, according to Abby Chin, our good friend Bill Simmons.
97, sign me up.
Hey man, if you're in shape like that at 97,
I know.
That's all good.
Ooh.
Yeah, Pritchard, nice move to get inside. And it gotten away with a walk there. Shireman splashes a 3. I was thinking about, Simmons interviewing Kuzi. Bill Simmons, as far as national media goes, maybe the most foremost historian on Celtics basketball, right? He wasn't even alive when Kuz was in the league. And then Bill Simmons gets to interview him at Holy Cross, his alma mater. That's pretty cool.
He said he graduated. All depend on what game I was playing.
A lot of green circles around the arc.
Yeah. I didn't shoot that many threes like that. You know what I mean? We didn't shoot threes, so like I shot threes, but it wasn't like that. Like that's all I really did.
You weren't just a one-trick pony, you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
Walsh on the drive, blocked by Nick Richards, and Dillingham with the steal. Jaden Ivey with all kinds of time and space off the rim, and Queta secures the rebound.
So with Jaden Ivey, do you think that that's another team that gave up on him too soon because he got injured? Because I thought him coming out of college was a phenomenal basketball player and had his ceiling was, I don't know, it was so high.
And no doubt, he was the 5th pick in the draft out of Purdue. Coach's son, his mom, Niele, is the coach at Notre Dame. And a great athlete as Williams banks it in. I mean, Ivey's had some injury issues, but it seemed like Detroit are going for it. They wanted extra shooting. That's why they got Kevin Huerter, and they give up Jaden Ivey. What do you think?
That's the thing I was talking about earlier, like when you give up on younger players real quick, but Detroit feel like it's their moment right now. Those are the things that you have to do as Baylor Shireman knocks down that corner three.
A little smile as he looks back at the Celtics bench.
He always be talking to the bench.
He plays with some serious flair.
I like that.
Pritchard dealing with the pressure from Dillingham. Poked free. 3 turnovers for Peyton Pritchard tonight, something you don't see very often. Best assist to turnover in the league among guys who play at least 25 minutes. Richards is fouled, and he'll shoot free to get you there.
Continue to defend. You know, it started with defense in the first half, and that led us to where we're at right now. So let's go into the All-Star break playing the right type of brand of basketball.
Oh, Nikola Vucevic from the corner. He's now 4 of 5 from downtown. Stats through 3 by Jason Stone Injury Lawyers, official injury law firm of the Boston Celtics. Injured? Better phone Stone. Domination across the board from the C's. This has really not been close since the first quarter. Nick Richards has the answer, so each team's center knocks one down.
Nick Richards, the 3.
Celtics shooting 50% from downtown. Interesting to see Jaylen Brown and company still on the floor with the Celtics up big entering the 4th. Par for the course for the C's, though. Not taking their foot off the gas. Brown the cross. Vucevic keeps it moving. That'll stay here.
Out of bounds.
Vucevic drops it home. 19 points for Nikola Vucevic. Best game as a Celtic so far. Comes over to help on Yabusele. Good defense from Vuce, and he bats it over to White. Walsh spots up, knocks it down. Billy, best game we've seen him play as a Celtic. Think he's getting more comfortable, Vucevic?
I think so. I think, you know, having the opportunity to practice with the team and then watch film, because he's a professional. 35 years old, he understands exactly what his role is going to be with this team. So he pays attention. You have to pay attention to where you're going to get your shots and where you need to be at offensively to help the spacing.
Vucevic with his 3rd assist there as Richards can't finish. Vuce 1 rebound away from a double.
They're going to be moving forward.
And it helps to have a couple days off in a row so you can get that practice in. And this is obviously a work in progress, but Vucevic trying to make it seamless as Brown can't bank it home. Walsh almost had the follow as the Celtics lead it by 33, 3 minutes into the 4th. Yabusele for three.
Yabusele for three.
Celtics will head west after the All-Star game, which is in LA, starting the road trip against Golden State. Vucevic the rebound, that's his double-double. Walsh back rims it. White, another offensive board. Celtics 17 for 38 from distance. In the month of February, second to last in three-point percentage in the league, but still 4-1 in that span. Brown ahead of steam, kick it out, Walsh. A good time to go cold is when you're up 30.
Yeah, the only time. Actually, no, there's never a good time to go cold.
You can survive this one. How about Brown? Buzelis finally hits one.
Buzelis for three.
He's going to be a good player.
Yeah, 15 for him tonight. They're excited about him in Chicago. He's born and raised in Chicago. His parents are both Lithuanian. Pritchard, nice move. And smoked the layup. Ooh, Yabu flying in. And Vucevic secures another rebound.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That when Vucevic is just how heady he is, he understood he had a smaller guy. He's just going to post him up and end up getting the fast.
His first minutes of the game was 6:53 to play in the fourth.
Yeah, he's been a guy who gave us great minutes when he's been on the floor.
Yeah, he's been in the starting lineup lately.
Another guy that plays extremely hard. And I feel like he's going to...
You think I'm not going to play this year? Just watch. And he's been consistently in the rotation as Pritchard gets the roll.
He just gets to his spots when he wants to. I mean, wherever at on the court.
Ivy for three. Does Peyton Pritchard's game remind you of anyone? And don't say Caitlin Clark.
No.
Someone's already made that comparison.
I wouldn't say that. That's disrespectful at the end of the day. I'm not even going to sit here and hold that one. That's disrespectful. His game kind of, you know, he has a great handle, his strength. I don't know. He's like a...
There's Walsh. An exclamation point on his excellent night.
You know, I don't really do the comparisons with players. I think everybody are unique in their own way and what they do. I think his handle is amazing. His shooting is really good. His finishing around the basket is...
December 11th in Milwaukee. And he had 20. 14 for Walsh tonight. But I'm with you on Pritchard. It's hard to come up with a comparison for him. One of the most competitive guys in the league. Fires here. Garza just making things happen on the offensive glass. Foul on Sexton. Pritchard goes into Dillingham. Took him to the weight room.
Who would that remind you of?
Peyton Pritchard, baby. 20 points for Pritchard. He's hit 20 plus in 4 of his 5 games off the bench this season. Again, sparking the bench. He, Vucevic, and Walsh all with 14 or more. Sexton gets 2 inside. The final 5 minutes are presented by Eastern Bank. Join us for good.
Watch out.
Ivy nearly got the strip on Garza. Left Harper Jr. open. And Jordan Walsh has done it again. "24 minutes for Walsh tonight, 16 points and 6 boards. He came in early and has basically forced Joe's hand. Can't take him off the floor tonight. Leonard Miller, newly acquired Bull, puts it in.
Leonard Miller.
There's Miller with the rebound. Timeout is called. Basket. 25-point Celtics edge. Pritchard still out there with Garza, Shireman, Walsh, and Harper Jr. Dillingham at the controls for the Bulls. Olbrich on the finish.
Now that did look like Scal right there. Everything that Olbrich did looked exactly like how Scal played, even to the floater.
Only difference is one of them has an Australian accent. It's Lachlan Olbrich. Shireman the catch, the Euro into Garza, blocked by Ivy, but he's fouled. It is much fanfare as the 55th pick in last year's draft.
I like all the money, man. Like free money, you got to go get that free money right there.
They're called free.
Yeah, that free throws, right? Go get your paper.
And Garza still scoreless in his three.
No knock on his effort.
And he typically does knock him down. Luka 80% from the line. Stream all our games on the NBC Sports app thanks to New England Cadillac dealers, official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics. Well, that time you'll be feeling withdrawals from Celtics basketball, so it'd be great to have you with us here on NBC Sports Boston. Celtics will enter the All-Star break at 35-19. Going to go 15-13 the rest of the way to win 50. Pritchard gets the bounce. 22 for Peyton Pritchard.
He's so strong. That's what it is. He has a handle. He's super.
Sexton not close. Eddie, from a player's perspective, you look at the All-Star break as like the halfway point of the season. Pritchard's cooking.
He is. I didn't want to speak while he was shooting right there, but you look. I think that everything ramps up after the All-Star break for sure. There's no question about it. Especially the teams. You know, the team that's going to tank. You know, the teams that are not involved in anything, that maybe not tanking, but they're just competing out there because they got competitors. But then you also, the top tier teams, you see it ramps up and it gets serious, and every game starts to matter a little bit more.
Pritchard, a fancy pass to Garza, passed up the three on the drive. And you start to see the contenders separate themselves after the All-Star break. Miller gets the foul. Hey, coming up after the game, it's post-game live, presented by the New England Ford dealers. Pritchard now the Celtics' top scorer with 25. Dillingham tried to cut him off. Pritchard in control, got the bump. Pritchard still. He's got those 7 assists. And getting his own as well.
18, just let this go.
Everyone's ready to get to their destination for All-Star.
I think Chicago already got their bags packed. They leaving for
25-5-5 game. He's the 4th Celtic ever with multiple of those off the bench. 25-5-5. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Gordon Hayward. Pretty good company. Shireman hits. Bird, by the way, did that 6 times. McHale, Hayward, and Pritchard 2 apiece.
It seemed like anything that ever happened, Larry Bird is involved in it.
Yes.
That's big time. Drew, I didn't know that McHale came off the bench. I didn't know that.
He won 6th Man of the Year twice in a row. That's right. Dick, is that correct? Sexton drops it in.
And you got to think, I was super young then, so I wasn't really watching hoop like that. When I started watching, he was a starter at that time. And if you wanted to know the history, you had to go get an encyclopedia.
Basket. 25-point Celtics edge. Pritchard still out there with Garza, Shireman, Walsh, and Harper Jr. Dillingham at the controls for the Bulls. Olbrich on the finish.
Now that did look like Scal right there. Everything that Olbrich did looked exactly like how Scal played, even to the floater.
Only difference is one of them has an Australian accent. It's Lachlan Olbrich. Shireman the catch, the Euro into Garza, blocked by Ivy, but he's fouled. It is much fanfare as the 55th pick in last year's draft.
I like all the money, man. Like free money, you got to go get that free money right there.
They're called free.
Yeah, that free throws, right? Go get your paper.
And Garza still scoreless in his three.
No knock on his effort.
And he typically does knock him down. Luka 80% from the line. Stream all our games on the NBC Sports app thanks to New England Cadillac dealers, official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics. Well, that time you'll be feeling withdrawals from Celtics basketball, so it'd be great to have you with us here on NBC Sports Boston. Celtics will enter the All-Star break at 35-19. Going to go 15-13 the rest of the way to win 50. Pritchard gets the bounce. 22 for Peyton Pritchard.
He's so strong. That's what it is. He has a handle. He's super.
Sexton not close. Eddie, from a player's perspective, you look at the All-Star break as like the halfway point of the season. Pritchard's cooking.
He is. I didn't want to speak while he was shooting right there, but you look. I think that everything ramps up after the All-Star break for sure. There's no question about it. Especially the teams. You know the team that's going to tank. You know the teams that are not involved in anything, that maybe not tanking, but they're just competing out there because they got competitors. But then you also, the top tier teams, you see it ramps up and it gets serious, and every game starts to matter a little bit more.
Pritchard, a fancy pass to Garza, passed up the three on the drive. You start to see the contenders separate themselves after the All-Star break. Miller gets the foul. Hey, coming up after the game, it's Post-Game Live, presented by the New England Ford dealers. Pritchard now the Celtics' top scorer with 25. Dillingham tried to cut him off. Pritchard in control, got the bump. Pritchard still. He's got those 7 assists and getting his own as well.
18, just let this go.
Everyone's ready to get to their destination for All-Star.
I think Chicago already got their bags packed. They leaving for
25-5-5 game. He's the 4th Celtic ever with multiple of those off the bench. 25-5-5. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Gordon Hayward. Pretty good company. Shireman hits. Bird, by the way, did that 6 times. McHale, Hayward, and Pritchard 2 apiece.
It seemed like anything that ever happened, Larry Bird is involved in it.
Yes.
That's big time. Drew, I didn't know that McHale came off the bench. I didn't know that.
He won 6th Man of the Year twice in a row. That's right. Dick, is that correct? Sexton drops it in.
And you got to think that I was super young then, so I wasn't really watching hoop like that. When I started watching, he was a starter at that time. And if you wanted to know the history, you had to go get an encyclopedia.